right, welcome back to another episode of the Broadway Podcast. This week we have Nick Armogida here with me, one of my good friends from work.
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing so good. I can't wait to get into it.
It's going to be fun.
The banter of Nashville and what we think is Nashville and what you guys consider Nashville are two totally different things. I think that sometimes we're at work and we're like trolling people and stuff like that. I think it's kind of funny, but it's also realistic too, because I think people see a different side of Nashville once they get here. I was actually thinking about when I was driving here on the way from home to the studio, and I was like, you know, if I was a tourist and I came into Nashville and I finally got here thinking it was like all shits and glamour, right, and I would be so disappointed as soon as I got here. Do you agree with that? Like, I feel like the hype of Nashville is just so...
The hype in Nashville will always be the hype in Nashville, but I moved here 3 years ago, and let me tell you, it is something completely different than what I thought it was.
How was that?
I don't know. Buckle's still in business. I didn't know that until I moved here.
Like the store Buckle? Yeah. I haven't seen that store since I was in college,
Dude,
freshman year in college.
I'm like, whoa, man. Like, seeing these people out on the street, I'm like, holy moly. This is different out here. But it's cool. I mean, some of it's actually hilarious. But
I think it's very, very funny. Especially, I feel like Nashville is almost like a, what do you call it, a fad? Like a fad city. Yeah. Like everything that used to be cool back in the day is now being resurfaced.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, I was in a store the other day. I saw Ed Hardy going on. I'm like, are you serious? This is dead ass? Yeah. We're selling this now? And people are wearing it. It's like, especially where we work, the area that we work, downtown Nashville, Lower Broadway, it's like, oh my God, this is actually all happening for real.
Yeah, big buckles. Which, I mean, that's part of the aesthetic too, the big buckle stuff and like blue jeans. I get that part, but when you start like seeing like, what is it, Carhartt being a thing again, and like the flannels, the cut off sleeves. When we used to do that, like back in the day when we used to do that, like out in the woods, like actually tailgating, being in the woods and bonfire and shit like that. And now people are like clean as day, like no dirt on the boots,
no dirt on the boots,
like
wolf
no
cut,
scuff.
What's his name? Riley Green mustache.
Yeah, like the haircut,
like all that shit. It's all the same, and it's like every dude in their mid-20s looks like that.
Yeah, it's kind of cringe a little bit.
It's like whole.
I don't really. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't like it. It's just like an eye roll for me because I'm like, damn, man. Like Nashville is supposed to be like one of the meccas.
Southern city.
Yeah, like one of the meccas of that.
But I don't know. It's definitely a transplant city from what I've gotten. It's very much everybody from the whatever town they're from, whether it's small or big, and they mold to this town like it's like its own entity. It's weird.
Well, everybody always comes into places and like whatever is shiny and new, I feel like it's the new norm these days. Like whatever is shiny and new, like whatever is like the thing to do, people flock to it. That's why I feel like when we talk about, especially when we make fun of stuff at work, when you see like these lines and lines of people waiting to get a pancake and egg from like the most random fucking place.
Oh my God, what's going on over here? What are they doing? You know,
like I don't get the appeal because like back in my day, like I would have never stood in line for longer than 15 minutes for
anything.
Basic
and not even to get into a club.
Right, exactly.
It's like I know a guy. I know the DJ. Let me in.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. So speaking of that, I kind of want to detour from like the topics right now, but like. Speaking about that, like they were talking about during CMAs how I saw a lot of people on TikTok and Instagram saying how they were really upset the fact that they were waiting in line for hours, like these real fans waiting in line for hours trying to get in to see the people they've loved for so long, but they were seeing these social influencers and like these media influencers getting in just like that because of the followings they had, and they were kind of getting upset with that. To me, that's like a disservice to the community, especially during like a free concert week.
My thing is with this whole influencer thing, I think it's great. I'm not against it at all, whatever. Get your money how you're going to get your money, get your brand deals, the whole nine.
Yeah.
But I had to tell you, I was at a music festival many years ago, and these girls, they had walked by me, and I'm on cloud nine, obviously, at a music festival. Yeah. And I was in a VIP area with wristbands up my arm. The whole nine, and they had asked me, oh my God, are you an influencer? I had no idea. I was like, I'm under the influence. What are you talking about? And it's like, now you see them and they think they're God's gift to earth. It's like, okay, I've seen your face online promoting a product.
Yeah.
But you don't have to bring that personality to
everywhere
real life. It's like, that's not who you are. And then you wonder why your dating situations are all screwed up, and it's just like, who Who are you?
Yeah, who
you
have
who
no
are you?
You have no real life identity at all.
You're not a living commercial. It's who are you?
Exactly, dude. Like it's for me, it's just like so bad. Like we live in that town, that kind of town where like that's very much like a affluent, you know, like everybody's here trying to sell or like trying to sell themselves on social media, and then you see them in real life.
In real life, and you're like, what? Well, who are you?
Yeah,
you're
like
not that person.
I do not like it. So that's why when my like podcast started getting some traction, I was even when like we first started, I was telling Tony, I was like, I want to be a real life person. Like, I want to be like, when you see me in public, I might be blackout, or you see me in public, I might be, you know, in my field. I have real emotions, you know, like I'm not just out here like my brand is not on my exactly, my brand is not on my sleeves at all time. And I feel like that's important for people that like have such big influences online. When they do come out, like just do it the right way. Like I just feel like Nashville has like kind of consumed this kind of like social media like garbage and regurgitated it to like what real life is when it's not.
Well, my thing is, if you're gonna be that online, lift people up offline. You know what I mean? Because everybody's going through something. I mean, whether you're going through it or not, they're going through it or not. It's like you don't have to be standoffish. You don't have to act better than. Just be a human being outside in public, especially at the bars.
You think that people know how they look when they come into the bars, like when they come in with like their sashes on and shit, and like they have matching t-shirts like they're going to a fucking family reunion?
Yeah.
Do they think they know how ridiculous they look to us? Like, I'm all for you having a good time, but like, you're 35 years old. Why are all y'all in the same pink ass fucking shirt with your best friend's bad picture on the back?
See, those groups don't make me mad regardless of how they're going to act in a bar. What irritates me is the mid-20-year-olds that think their shit doesn't stink and they show up to a bar, stand in a corner, and just stand there.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Remember that club days?
Saw, dude, I'm on Lower Broad, dude. Like, I just want to be seen. It's like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, like you're not even like. I kind of feel bad for them too, because like you're not even getting an experience like having any fun. Like,
what are you doing? What are you doing? Going back to your hotel room, going, dang, I saw so many good-looking girls tonight,
and that's it.
It's like cool, dude.
What happens to the dance? Like, what happens to the dancing generation?
Oh my God!
Remember back in the day, like
I was working the other night, and I'm like, no one's dancing.
Nobody's dancing,
and it wasn't because of the talent. Everything was there to do it.
Yeah,
the music was great. The vibes were awesome.
The music was great.
Yeah,
must have been a good night, because that's very rare sometimes.
I mean, it was,
in my opinion,
it was, the music was for what it was. I thought it was great. It was a good time. Listen. If it was me, you, Tonio, and other of our friends drinking, we'd all be acting a fool.
I would be walking out the bars drenched in sweat.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. It's very different nowadays.
I don't want to normalize that, though. I don't want to normalize this bullshit. Like, I feel like we're just coming to a place where, like, we're just, like, okay with it. And it also affects, like, the overall, like, mentality of our industry too. It's like this is not what it's about. We don't go to a packed out bar just to stand idly by, just to take pictures and shit.
You gotta understand, this generation doesn't drink like our generation did. When we were in our early 20s, first of all, prices were
we're gonna get to that, so let's save that. We're gonna get to that.
But like what I'm saying to you is, like, when we went out, also, there was no cell phone of us filming anything, because if there was, we'd all be doing live.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
well, we had phones.
We didn't. Yeah, we had everything mentally, but when we went out, and had a good time. If we were going out, it was for the sheer fact of having a good time. We didn't have an agenda.
We didn't have Google search, be like, where's the party at tonight?
We were the party. Yeah. Whether it was packing 12 people into a car going to a house party, or turning 21 and spending the rest of whatever was in your debit account that night.
Dude, tell me about it. And let's talk about that part. Like being 21 when we were 21. Like, I would go to like trips, like spring break and shit, and like I could make $150 last me the whole entire week. Oh, and granted, I do get the prices are different, but even still,
well, we weren't making
I wasn't trying. Yeah, I wasn't fucking out there.
Influencer money.
Exactly, but I wasn't out there at the beach to go spend $100,000 on a bottle section.
Surely there to have a good time.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but
we made it fun.
Also, the caring as much wasn't there. I feel like these kids nowadays, you know, I feel like they're very aware of their surroundings in a sense of how people view them. because, oh my
Yeah.
God, Tom, Dick, and Jane was out last night and I saw them doing this, that, and the third,
Yeah.
and here's the proof. And they don't want to be a part of that, I guess. So maybe they'll have one drink, stand in a corner, and say I was there.
So they're scared to like just be themselves because of how it's portrayed to the world.
To the world, to the social world.
Imagine.
You know what I'm saying?
But you hear how that sounds though? That sounds so disgusting. Because
It's-
if I'm
well,
out, if I'm in the streets, I'm in the streets. You want to catch me on film? Okay,
Right,
you're
but
welcome.
you were that generation that was already there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you didn't grow up with a phone in your hand. You didn't grow up with
true.
preconceived notion about how bars were.
That's very true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, very, very true. And speaking of preconceived notions of how bars work, the tipping situation right now is kind of at an all-time craziness. It's at all-time
wild.
craziness.
I mean, I've done this in 3 different cities. I've done this in San Diego, Vegas, and now Nashville. And let me tell you, Nashville easily takes the cake for just writing scribble through that tip
Okay,
line.
well, let's roll back real quick before we start getting on tangents.
Yeah.
So when we talk, so people in the world that do not have to rely on tips for a full income, we have to explain a little bit, right? So like for educational purposes, when you are in certain demographics or geographic areas of the country, people get paid different ways, right?
Right.
You might go work out in the West Coast and people get paid by the hour in the industry. You might come down south. People solely get relied on by tips for the income or whatever the case may be. But when it comes down to it, if you see a tip line on the receipt you're given and you're not aware of what's going on, you should either ask a question or do your research beforehand. I'm a big advocate for that.
I completely agree with
Right
that.
now, we're seeing a drastic decline in tips because prices are very, very high and people are like, why am I spending this kind of money on like for a beer or a drink or whatever?
Right.
And then now I got a tip on top of that. But also like this is on us as industry workers to give the opportunity to give educational backlight on why you tip, how you tip, the reason why you're tipping, etc. So like people don't really know sometimes that like our whole income comes from your tips.
Right.
And I don't get an hourly wage to the effect of it affecting my day-to-day like income.
Right.
So when you get bad service after a bad tip, which hopefully nobody does that because that's just very bad practice.
That's very rare.
But at the same time, it's like we're getting paid off tips, guys. You come to Nashville, people are here. Majority of people that work here, especially downtown, are getting paid a hourly wage that coincides legally, but do not reconcile for their finances weekly to year. So you have to be aware of that. And so right now we're dealing with a thing where we're having a lot of influx of outside America coming into town, right? Okay. And the stigma there is they get paid by the hour. Their government or whatever the system they work in has provided the ramifications of them getting paid a certain way. That's not the case when you come here. So it's not about anger. It's not about like we're being greedy, but you also have to realize where you are, how you are, why you're doing it.
Right.
Before you come to an area spending your money and then not understanding why people are giving backlash of like no tips. So what's your like professional like
input on that? So my
that.
thing is when you go to the store, I don't care what store, it could be anywhere. That tip line pops up everywhere now.
Everywhere, yeah.
And it's not just the service industry, and people are outraged by it. I've actually watched videos, I've watched interviews of people in actual anger of checking out at a store, a convenience store, or wherever, where the wage is already there, but that tip line, I think they were introduced post-COVID, and they never went away.
Yeah.
They were specifically for industry service workers, servers, bartenders, everybody in the hospitality industry. That's what the tip line was meant for. Correct me if I'm wrong, but now you're being checked out at a clothing store off street of a bar, and there's a tip line. The same thing is there, and it bothers people.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the people
you're paying merch price
that
for something. Why am I
here.
tipping a merch price?
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and then the tip line on the takeout, like it's like, okay, cool. I'll leave $5 if I'm going to pick something up, or if I'm going to get a pizza. That's a different story. There's different narratives behind it, but people within this country, I don't think it's too heavily influenced on the prices going up, because people that aren't going to tip aren't going to tip either way. So I don't care if the drink's $20. I don't care if the drink's $10. If they're not going to tip, they're just that type of person. And those type of people are becoming more than less because of this new generation. This new generation, you know, with pride writes a line through that tip line, and they don't understand.
It's like fuck the man, but like they're not really fucking the man.
Well, no, it's like they don't understand that like that doesn't necessarily hurt an ego, but it's like it makes you want to professionally ask, like, hey, did I do something wrong in this transaction?
Oh, I really hate.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so I'm gonna stop you there because I really hate. And I know that's the professional way to say, like, why the fuck you didn't tip me?
Right.
But, like, I really hate when I hear that sentence when people say, did I do something wrong? Because clearly you did not do anything wrong. They did something wrong by not educating themselves on why the fuck they're not tipping somebody who's providing a service.
That brings up...
So don't even ask the question for me. Because, like, I hate that because, like, I'm not going to lower myself to ask you, did I do something wrong, knowing that I didn't do anything fucking wrong besides provide you the service you're asked for. So, like...
Well, it also
I just hate that
the customer
sentence.
checkmate.
Does it though?
I don't know. Brings out their guilty conscience.
The guilty conscience is going to tip you regardless or not tip you regardless.
Right, and I get that. And then moving to, you know, other countries when they come and visit, it's like that's a whole different realm. You know what I mean? That's a whole different realm. But going back to, it's like I asked you the other day. We were outside, we were hanging out, and we were just looking around, and we're like, dude, when we go out of town, do we just churn off our brain and common sense throw that out the complete window?
For sure.
You know what I mean? It's like it's like drunk's one thing. Being ridiculous in a bar is two different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you're wasted, like call a friend, like do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's just like, nope. You know, it's, oh my God, this much. And you know what I love? It's the ones where it's like, oh, you know, I don't have any money, but they write a thank you on the tip line or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, man, like,
don't even patronize me at this point.
it's like,
But it's become. But I mean, I bring this point up because it's become effective to our incomes.
right.
And like, it's not a shade to anybody. Excuse me. It's not like a lash out at anybody. It's just simply being aware that this is a person's income and this is how they make their excuse me, their grand incomes of like
right.
how
livelihood.
they calculate
It's their whole livelihood.
So it's almost like me going to a retail store and just like taking the shirt and walking out the door with it.
Essentially,
Agreed?
yeah.
Because like I'm not getting, like I said, the hourly wage that may or may not be provided to compensate for a consistent income. It's because it's tip based, and
Right. Well, I mean, it goes back to you saying like, educate themselves. They don't understand not tipping is costing us money, whether we have to tip out down the line of people who we have to tip out. It just goes. It's just my biggest thing. If you can't afford to go out the proper way, don't go out. It's you don't have it. And if you don't want to tip, then you don't need to be in areas where tipping is highly, highly encouraged.
highly encouraged, and also like
Respect.
you're respected for sure, and then also like you're in an area where like prices are out the wazoo. You don't think that these people are getting paid off tips? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like it'll be
It's
different.
and like prices are at the wazoo. You know, I actually had a conversation with a woman the other day. She was absolutely outraged. You know, I used to bartend, that whole deal. She bought a round of shots, and it was 7 or 8 shots, over $100. And she's like, "This is ridiculous, man." Actually gets mad at me for it. And I said, "Listen," I said to her, I'm truly apologizing to you, but do you have this conversation with your grocery store clerk?
Right.
Do you get mad at her over eggs, this, that, and the third? I said, you may have bartended 100 years ago, but
Not 100 years ago.
those bar days are over. There's no dictating prices bartender wise. There's no, you're going to pay this much, you're going to pay. No, it's not like that anymore. And a lot of them don't understand that, because a lot of our clientele does come from that little 500 person town where their beers are $2.50. Well, I can get this, that, and the third for $2.50.
Yeah.
It's like, great. Do you have this live music going on behind you? Do you have?
Can you go to 14 different bars after you walk out?
Do you have this atmosphere going on around
for
you?
sure.
It's like you're going to Disneyland, but for bars.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have the preconceived notion of what you're going to pay going to Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Here, you're just drinking. It's the
Also,
same
let me ask you a
concept.
question. When you go on vacation, do you not kind of like research how much things are going to cost when you get there?
Every
Because
time.
like when I went to Spain and Czech last year, I did my research. Like, okay, I know Spain is going to be more expensive than Czech Republic. I know that I'm expecting to pay.
Czech Republic. I got a question. Interrupt you real quick.
What's up?
Is beer cheaper than water in the Czech Republic?
It's about the same price. It's about the same price for sure.
See, that's what
it
we
was
need
very,
to
very
get
cheap.
to.
It was very, very cheap over there for sure. And then I knew that Spain was gonna be a little bit more pricier, but not too outrageously overpriced. And I knew that I did my research going into another whole different continent. Basically, I did the research. So why not do the same thing in return? So to me, it's kind of like it's insulting to me a little bit.
Well, it's every time. I mean, I went to Thailand years ago, and I tell you, these people out in Thailand, they didn't want anything for free. They worked for everything.
Yeah.
Whether it was, and this is a third world country. This isn't what you see on Instagram. The couple shots that you see and scroll, TripAdvisor, all of that. This is a third world country. I'm not a parent, but by all means, I was ordering a fresh fish dinner for 3 other guys. Cost me all of $5.
Yeah.
All of $5. This was like a buffet table bigger than this one of our food with a family of 5, 3 kids sitting there sharing a bowl of rice, maybe the size of my hand, and my heart broke. And I was like, I had bought them a whole meal, the same meal that me and the guys were eating, and the woman started like taking off the man's belt to give to me, like their spiritual bands,
like a thank you
kind of a thing. And like that gratitude and gratitude, like that meant so much to me, and that will always stick with me. And moving to today, present day, it's like, going back to the influencers and the non-tippers and all these quote unquote world travelers, it's like, does that what does anything, like, is there a human being in there?
Exactly.
And it's like, it's going off that. It's like when people come up to you, water. It's like, in the middle of, it's like, I wasn't doing anything. Let me get you your water real quick.
Sure, yeah.
It's
so
like,
there's free water at that.
It's like we're robots behind the bar now. Not people like, hey man, how you doing? Can I get this whenever you get a second? Cool, great.
Dialing it back a little bit from that, like I just feel like it needs to be discussed. It needs to have some kind of like discussion. Especially people who have like influence, or like people who listen to people, or don't know how that whole thing works, So like, I'm like, I don't think it's an excuse at this point. We're too far into like knowledge, and like the phones are all accessible at all times. Like it's just laziness at this point. It's gotten to a point where like a lot of people are getting frustrated, and I don't want to see it come to a point where like the industry just keeps dying and dying and dying because we're not doing anything to cater to that one person who matters, the employee. And for me, it's like we're straying away from that slowly. Instead, we were creeping away from it. Now we're just sprinting away from it because we're just looking at things from like such a half-empty glass. And I think it's really much a disservice because we still have some like real big-time industry people in this community who's been around for so long, and they're getting frustrated. And you think that those new people you hire aren't eventually going to get the same frustration over time, because we were not always the ones that are like complaining and being mad about these things. It happened,
because it was always there.
Right. So I think those conversations are important.
And my thing is also, you said, the industry depleting a little bit. Do you also think that's based off of alcohol consumption?
No, I don't at all. I don't think it's based on, because nowadays we serve just as much food than we serve alcohol in these venues and these places that you go to, and food is a big thing. People want to taste it, especially in tourist areas. People want to try the local everything, which is whatever it may be. Like it could be food, beer, liquor, whatever. People want to taste that and and experience it while they're there. So I don't think it's because the consumption of alcohol has gone down, because we still have packed out places on the weekends. People still come in and drink heavily on the weekends. I think it's more so the focus is different, and we don't like it. And at the end of the day, like, we really can't control that focus, but at the same time, it's like I said, getting back to where the number one person that your what you call the soldiers and the frontline people are doing these things, and it's just constantly a signal that says that we don't really care. And it's sad. And it's sad to say that, because like people want to always like have this like positive outlook, and I do too. I'd like to have things in a positive outlook, but facts are facts. It's very, very, very much apparent that the operations inside of places these days, whether it's Nashville or wherever or beyond, have detoured from caring about the individual and more so of the masses, and that's became kind of toxic and septic. And over time, just factual shit is going to make places go under because they're not catering to that number one thing.
Right. Returning clientele. And I get that. But Nashville, the thing is, when people come here, they come here for a bachelorette party, a bachelor party, a work trip, or a family caravanting a couple states away that's driving, taking a road trip. Is Nashville built, let me ask you this question, is Nashville built on returning clientele?
Nashville's
in a way, because people say it's Music City, but
it's built on fluctuating clientele,
not
the same. And at the end of the day, like you can't really a town this largely influenced by tourism can't have that mindset of like we want, I guess, quote unquote regulars versus like a affluential.
Not so much regulars, returning clientele. Oh my God, this was great. You got to come back. You got to go to this place because of this, that, and the third. And it's like, me personally, I haven't been even to a restaurant where I'm like, oh my God.
Mind blown.
Oh my God. But also, I'm not comparing to the places where I've been from, whatever. I am optimistically open, but there's, everything I feel like is so micro-judged with people. Oh my God, I didn't like this, so I'm not going back there ever again.
Yeah,
it's like,
also
why?
I've seen like
it was one thing. I've also seen people. This is great. I've been here a million times,
and it was trash.
I've heard from different clientele. Oh my God, this is the best place on Broadway. Yada yada yada. I tell all my friends about it. That gives me pride in what I do.
Yeah.
Still, those just minute little words.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we still do this.
But we're not built on that. We're not built on that here in Nashville. I want to say a lot of places that are big on tourism aren't built in that setting because it's almost kind of like counterproductive to what they really want to get out of the whole thing. You really can't have that mindset when you have a big influx of tourism.
Right.
But I kind of want to drop that for right now. I'm going to get back into that again because a lot of these topics we got to talk about today are really going to kind of coincide. And I think it's very important to talk about these things. And like I said, I want to also preface this by saying I don't hate anything. I don't disregard anything. I work solely in this industry. I've only worked in this industry my entire life. My entire life has been dedicated to the industry as an adult. So I feel like it is my due diligence to like at least give an opinion, especially when I'm living in the thick of it. And I think that people that are living in the thick of it don't say anything and sit idly by and let things transpire. Then there's no excuse for the repercussions of what happens after that. I don't think that the dynamics that I work in are bad. I do think that we allow things to happen to ourselves, and when we do that, we're allowing things to open up to bigger pictures that we may or may not like. So that's why I want to preface with that.
Right.
But also talking about the industry in itself and like and all the different influences that we have here in Nashville. You're from Vegas, and right now Vegas is struggling from what I've seen.
Right.
And I think it's, I don't like to wish any harm or will on any particular area, especially like demographic that I work in, especially the industry. But I think this is a telltale sign that people should be aware of, especially in Nashville, Miami, New York, these places that are still getting the money and still getting the big tourism. I think this is a warning sign to the industry. Of how to do things differently.
It's funny that you bring that up. I was actually talking to one of my buddies from Vegas. He had reached out to me just to, hey man, what's going on type of thing. And I was like, no man, what's going on with you, dude? And he was, long story short, we got into the nitty gritty of these hotels. They're wanting to take away all of these resort fees, these $100 parking fees. It's like, I'm a guest in your hotel kind of a thing. They kind of want to go bring it back to the 2000s, like when we were 21 kind of a thing. They want to take away, they're brainstorming on how to get these people back. Vegas will never die. Vegas is the adult entertainment capital of the world. Sure, is it lower numbers than usual? Yes. Is it thriving? Yes. Are they still printing money? Yes. But is the how do I word this?
The appeal.
The follow up of that vacation.
Yeah.
You know, you're crazy if you don't hear someone say, but it was so expensive. And it's like
every single time.
Every single time. And that's not always how it used to be. I mean, sure, there's things that you can go and do in Vegas that's not expensive, but it's not really the things that people want to do anymore.
But, and also I asked this question, like, do you think they sit back and say, where did we go wrong when it comes to, like, we just missed the mark on something? Because it's like, at the end of the day, your average traveler, your average consumer is a family, right?
Right.
Why in the absolute fuck do you think that it's okay to gouge so extreme to where those your main attraction people that actually go and spend money, they have to spend money. You have 4 kids, a husband, wife, maybe cousin, brother want to come. Why would you make it so impossible for that the nucleus of your clientele to struggle to even come see you? Where have we gone wrong as an industry?
I don't think it's gone
to
wrong
where
as an
we
industry.
just like.
I think that
not allowing people to afford anything. Like,
I just think everything in general right now, and I think we're going. Honestly, I don't think it's prices and everything going up, but that's everything. I think honestly, what it is a generational shift. Our generation, like going back to what I was saying, was we drank like fish when we were outside. Mm-hmm. 1, because we couldn't afford it, but we did it. 2, because that was the thing to do. But now all of us that are graduating from doing that nightly, you know, there's few and far between. You know, there's the people that are getting married. You have the couple friends that are still outside, whatever.
Yeah.
This new generation is not doing that because there's so many more different outlets of things that they can do other than go to a bar. You know, when we were kids, did we, you know, swipe on all these, you know, dating apps going, oh, I like you, I don't like you? No, we didn't do that. Yeah. We went outside. You know, did we have all these reality shows that we could apply for to find, you know, a relationship? No, we didn't do that. We went outside.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, and so it's like now all these kids are so hyper-focused on their image based off online, which I personally think they're not going out and drinking. They're just not.
But yeah, you're true. That's very true. Like, kids are not.
Think about a house party. How many house parties do you hear of that kids are throwing nowadays?
That's true.
None.
I think kids these days, which is good, I think kids these days are more aware of their health too. And I think that now that we've had so much of an access of like what it's healthy, what's not healthy, like lifestyle choices, lifestyle living. We've seen our parents go through some shit we don't want to go through. Oh, yeah. So they're more hesitant to do the things that we did, and even when we were doing it, we were more hesitant to do the things that our parents did. So I mean, I commend them for that. But as far as like going back into like we work in this industry, this is our whole lives, and I can talk to you about this because I feel like. I mean, I know so. You're the same way. This has been my entire life.
I love what I do. Like, love what I do. And I don't want to stop loving what I do. Like, hate's a big word. You know, it's a very expensive emotion. It requires a lot of caring.
Yeah, for sure.
And my thing is, with that being said, it's like you talk to, you know, people that work in the industry. It's like, oh my God, you know, I hate people. It's like, what are you, a fucking Coldplay song? You know what I mean? It's like you do this for a living. You work with the general public. It's like you don't hate people. It's like you don't like the way it's going necessarily that day. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you love what you do. Otherwise, none of us would be doing what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely love. I love it. I wouldn't have been doing it for so long if I didn't like it.
Oh, me either. Absolutely not.
And it's fun, especially when you get to work in the environments we work in. But that's another reason why, like the disgust sometimes. I wouldn't even say disgust. I would say like the frustration.
Frowned upon frustration.
The frustration can be is because like you're taking away my happiness for no reason at all, and like it can come from a number of reasons, but most of it is just kind of like out of our control, greed, but like
completely
a lot of it's just like
it's the entitlement of the generation. Yeah. It's like, you know what I mean? They'll come up to you, 1, not say hi, 2, demand something, 3, be pissed off when we don't have something, and 4, leave with writing a line through that tip line with vengeance. Almost. It's
with
like
no fucking regard,
just swiping through it like it's like, okay, see you
later. We get it.
And then get pissed off when it's like, excuse you. You know what I mean? But Is there a way to fix it? I don't know. Is there a way to make it better? I don't know.
I think there's ways in which we can exercise making it better.
Absolutely.
I
And
think
that
that you
comes
have
with the individual serving them.
that too, and I also think it matters from top to bottom though. Like everybody has to be willing to be able to do the right thing. I think right now the right thing has been put in the suitcase, and other things have been put into like
Put into play.
Yeah,
and
to put into play for sure.
And I understand all of that, but let me tell you a story. So when I first moved here, it took me a couple weeks to get down to Broadway. I was doing the whole Midtown thing because Midtown was cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I actually ended up knowing a lot of people. I don't have social media, so I don't keep up with people's, dinners that they're having every night. So when I saw all these people, I'm like, oh my God, you're here, yada, yada. Well, I finally went down to Broadway. Want to know my first Broadway experience? I walked in and out of all of these bars, sober, by the way. I mean, maybe 2 beers in, I kid you not. And I'm asking for politely waiting, not, as somebody, a service industry worker, I'm politely waiting, the whole nine. And I'm looking at some of these bartenders, and they all look like they don't want to be there. They all don't have a smile on their face. And then when you do talk to them, they'll have attitudes that is so standoffish. Mm-hmm. It's like, hold on a minute. Like, we're in the South, Southern hospitality, throw that out the window.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you've been bartending on the street for 10 years. Oh, so you're dead inside and don't like having conversation with anyone because you already have this preconceived notion of everything. That was my first experience. Am I hating on it? No. Do I understand it? To the fullest.
Yeah.
But it's like I go into work every single day in the best attitude possible, ready to go, ready to do what I do, because essentially you're on a stage, I remember being 21 going, damn, like it'd be cool, like this is cool, like I want to work here, I want to work there, like,
right.
Like doing what we do, like it was like a
privilege
thing, like, oh my God, well, that was again our generation, but still, it's like, and now we're at where we want to be at, and it's like, okay, cool. Put your mindset as that little kid serving you. Put them on, kind of a thing, so they can be like, oh, open up. You know what I mean? Because this new generation doesn't open up to nothing. I had a TikTok the other day, and I went down a rabbit hole about this Gen Z stare. Oh, it's so for real.
I thought you didn't have any social media.
I had just downloaded TikTok, where I just have I didn't sign up profile, and I just started scrolling, and it built an algorithm for it, and I like it, to be honest with you. And so I'm scrolling, and they were talking about this Gen Z stare, and dude, it is so for real. If you ever
I think I've stumbled upon that too. What exactly is that though? I think I've stumbled upon it.
You know how our generation doesn't feel awkward ever about anything unless it's funny and we make it awkward?
Yeah.
Dude, you want to talk about feeling uncomfortable? You'll literally talk to these kids and they'll just kind of look at you like you're a moron or have 10 heads, but nothing's going on in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, hold on, like, what do you mean? Like, it's so weird. Like, I want you to be on that algorithm one day, because then you'll be like, dude, this is what Nick was talking about.
I probably have gotten the stare and didn't even know I got the stare.
Right, and you think it's like a dirty stare. It's not.
It's emptiness.
They
emptiness
like socially like lock up is like what it is. It's like wild. It's like because they don't.
Are we going to make it in this?
They don't have their phone in their hand. Okay, think about it. It's the same thing. When people feel awkward or they're standing somewhere alone, they'll go straight to their phone. Well, now this kid has to converse with you about what they want as a cocktail, a drink, anything, and you'll be like, "What do you want? What do you want?" It's like they'll just be like. It's weird, dude. I went on this thing, and I have to look at that now. I was like, "Oh my God!" Like,
because I'm at work. I'm like, "What are you? What's going on?"
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I'm like, "Did you order this? Is this 2 ingredients? What's going on here?" Like,
and it's just like they'll just look at you, and it's just like it's like pulling teeth. But I don't know. It's just it's interesting to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I want to trail out of this conversation a little bit, but I will end it with this. When I did graduate college, and I did have a college degree, but the industry was always a place where you could make it successful if you chose to, whether you had a degree or you didn't have a degree, whether you had a plan to do something, whether you didn't have a plan to do something. And the service industry was a savior financially for those who didn't have that route paved for them or knew where they were going to go in life, either before, after, or not college at all. And the reason why I get so I get so passionate about it is because, yes, I did go to college and yes, I graduated, but I had no path, no realm, way, whatever, or direction where I wanted to go, but I wanted to make money. And the industry provided that for me. The reason why I say the things I say, and like I said, I still love it to this day, I'm still in it. But the reason why I get so passionate about the ways in which I say things is because that used to be that scapegoat for those kids that were in their 19, 20-year-old, can come out of college at 22, 23, not knowing shit from shit. Parents weren't really into life or they didn't have a direction. But they can go serve at so-and-so's place and make a couple $100s and be okay. Or they can make that a career and be a manager. Or they can make that management, go back to bartending and make some money. And now it's becoming...
Now I could make an account and go viral.
Exactly, and like so, it's the appeal of it is going away. The monetary purposes of it is going away, and it's just like it's taking away a different avenue that people had in the past.
Right.
So when I say like it's frustrating and like it's not tipping, all that stuff, it's not because I'm telling people what to do. It's more so like, this is how people's incomes are based.
This is how I made it. This is what I'm doing.
Get with it or don't. Like,
this isn't my
exactly
weekend job kind of thing. Like, this
exactly.
is my career.
But speaking on that, and then also saying this, like, what are the things you like most about this town? Because like you did move from Vegas and California, and those places are very tourist heavy too. What really kind of was like the selling point for you when you moved to Nashville?
When I moved to Nashville, honestly, I had no idea about Nashville.
Yeah.
One of my buddies who had moved here had told me to move here, and it was a very pivotal point in my life where there was no attachments to anything. COVID was just lifting. Vegas was evolving after COVID, and one of my buddies hits me up and he goes, "Hey man, move to Nashville." And I was like, okay, cool. So I moved here, and honestly, what's kept me here is where I work.
Absolutely. I say that every day.
And the people I work with.
Yeah.
Because there's a point of where I came from versus where I'm at now. Love where I'm at, love what I do to my very core. And what is keeping me in Nashville is where I work and the people that I work with.
I 1000% agree.
Because, you hear these horror stories elsewhere, and it's like, you hear horror stories about everything elsewhere, about anything nowadays. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, oh my God, thank God,
that I am here right now.
That I am here right now, these are the people that I'm with, this is what I'm doing, like, this is awesome. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Same, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and it's sad to say that, but it's the God's honest truth. I mean, it's very, the grass is always greener, and that's everywhere. Mm-hmm. That's in every, when I went to college in San Diego, I ended up staying there for 10 years. It's very, the grass is always greener. In this town, that's what it's turning into.
Yeah.
In every aspect. In every aspect possible. And that, leads to, okay, is this really where I'm supposed to be? Is this not where I'm supposed to be? We could spend 1 million hours brainstorming and giving ourselves anxiety about where we're supposed to go, which way's up or down. But nobody's content in their own situation. I am. Like, I am totally content where I'm at, what I'm doing, the people that I'm doing it with. But I do have to say, if I didn't have that, I don't know if I would still be here.
I 100% agree. I even contemplated a couple times moving, just because I was like, I just felt like my bowl was full. Like, Nashville could provide nothing else for me.
Right.
But if it wasn't for the place I worked and the people I worked with, that decision would have been a lot easier to make.
Without a doubt.
But it turned me. I was like, you know what? I still have some things to work on. The podcast started becoming a thing, and I was like,
"Congratulations on it, man! It's awesome."
Thank you.
Just reached 10,000 followers.
I did. I was going to. I know. I'm so excited about that. That was a great thing. Yeah. Of course. But that's not going to define me for who I am. That's not going to deter me from like the overall goal of what this podcast was supposed to be and what it is going to be. But I am excited about it. It's fucking. Awesome, it's fantastic.
I'm excited for you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
dude.
For
this
sure.
is awesome.
And
thanks for listening to us, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a million podcasts out there, and they could be listening to whatever else. picked us. Let's go.
Yes, go. And also, like, we're telling you the real shit about Nashville. Like, we're not going to sugarcoat nothing. We're not going to talk bad about anything. But you're going to get it from how it is. We're literally in the thick of it.
Literally.
Yeah, so if you really want to know how it goes down, listen to the podcast for sure. Lastly, I want to thank Lighthouse Media for always producing great content for us, and all of these sponsors that we've gathered over the last couple months, and all the guests that we've had on the show. I really appreciate it. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Until next week, I thank you so much for being on the show, my friend.
Thanks for having me, man.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah.